Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes referee who apparently has a subdermal skin allergy that he's not aware of, Zach Stat Pearson. And today I'm joined by the Wakandan ambassador to the United States military, one Michael Dat Hill.
The one and only, we here.
Alright, so let's get into them topics. Number one, Disney Plus subscription service has been recently revealed to be a one per week system for new and original titles. Also, this year, many shows that we were previously able to view all at once have now gone into a format of weekly releases sparingly, of course. There were Netflix original through the Netflix original title catalog. For example, BoJack Horseman was always all at once, but this final season is half coming out in October and the other half in January. Do you guys think that this is just isolated incidents, or due to binge watching being harmful to certain types of shows' longevity, more companies are going to start staying away from the release all at once style? Why or why not? Damn, I haven't used why or why not in a long ass time. Just thought about it. Topic 2. We have official confirmation that there will be a new trilogy surprising absolutely no one after Star Wars 9. Concludes. I don't know much about Star Wars. I don't pretend to. Or the Skywalker saga. But going into the movies 10, 11, and 12, what would you like to see happen in the future of Star Wars besides Kathleen Kennedy going away? Because apparently I'm told I have to put that at the end of that. And as far as topic 3, who would be a good crossover franchise to partner with Star Wars? Doesn't need to be a movie franchise. Doesn't need to be a video game entity exclusively. It could be both, or you could do either or. I'd be interested in either one. Topic 4. The newest Star Trek show will again star Jean-Luc Picard, aka Professor Patrick Stewart. Although trailers and information is currently limited, what do you want to see return or happen in this new high production value show starring the next gen captain himself? And topic 5. Marvel gets Spider-Man back. Sony changed their mind, or really they saw how much it hurt their stock, let's be honest. Sony agreed to an individual title contract with Disney for the foreseeable future in regards to Spider-Man. So, including the next Avengers movie, which he's contracted to be in from this point forward, that means that every single time Spider-Man is utilized in the Marvel series, it's per film basis instead of, a string of them. I'm sorry, I just really wanted to tell somebody. Oh man, what a time to be alive. All right, here, why don't you go ahead and knock them topics out for me whilst I go grab some aloe vera juice.
Topic 1, we gotta drop stuff off once a week instead of all at once is honestly probably because of binge watching, because you'll have either people who binge watched all at once and then write these crazy reviews or click here to see the spoilers or whatever the fuck you see on those weird ass Facebook ads, top 20 anime lists and shit like that. Or you have the people who don't even plan on watching it, but plan to put it up on other free streaming sites that could really just hurt their whole stunt. I mean, well, if it's all on YouTube, why I gotta pay $20 to get Hulu or something, right? The stupid Disney shit. So I guess it's more for longevity of their shows and their whole security of their platform in its entirety, because you release stuff once a week, then everybody gets it the same day, and then everybody just has to watch it instead of throwing it all up there at once, and then somebody just copies it all and then puts it out there. It's I can just wait for the whole thing to come up, and then it just really just sets them back. So just putting up one episode a week, or do what they do with BoJack Horseman half and half. Really kind of just forces you to do other stuff. And yes, copyright stuff is available to take it down, but they're not as fast as considering. I could look up many of anime episodes and they're still up there. 2 The only thing I really wanted, hard to say, because after watching 9 and how they portrayed Luke's powers in the whole trailer where they had the Palpatine laugh at the end, very intriguing. I'd like to see light and dark side shit. And it, like, somewhat seemed like they're working for, but there was just, like, an entire war that spread across the cosmos, and they just have to get rid of that. Crossover for 3. If, I don't know, hard to say. If I want to be cynical, I'd love to see an in space crossover, because, you know, galactic shit going on, and why not? Power Rangers and Star Wars, another.
Yeah, that's a wet dream I didn't know I wanted.
First, you think about it, but then after watching In Space with TMNT, it could work. And then
That one episode was better than their entire show. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, facts. I mean, they're gonna fuck you where they put new Star Trek thing. From what I've seen about the trailers, it seems like because when you said bring back Star Trek, I thought they're gonna bring back like everybody, but it just seems like him and this girl are going through a bunch of shit right now. So maybe if they're gonna like trickle in just like barely anything, add like only thing first I could think of was like Spock and like some other dude, Scotty. Just like wheel in like old characters that people are recognized with, but you ain't gotta like throw in all of the old cast. I don't even know if they're all still alive or if they can pull up those roles again.
To be fair, most people don't. It's weird, but Star Wars isn't, I won't say it's a curse, but something about Star Wars, if you're like a repeat character, it doesn't end your career, but a lot of people just like, they go and do something the fuck else, even if, you know, they had a really, really big career. Like his number 2 or co-captain, this dude named William Riker. I think that was his name. That guy got offers from Hollywood all the time, but he turned them down the minute he got off of Star Trek. And I don't really know why. Geordie LaForge, he could have kept on acting, but he got into the director chair. So it's just one of those weird situations. Like, you can name every single character of the main cast off of fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. How many of them you seen doing something besides Will Smith?
True enough. Now, number 5, the return of Spider-Man. Probably the hypest thing ever, because I haven't seen Far From Home yet. I've only seen the whole meme with like 6 times, like Spider-Man's Peter Parker, and it's like, okay. It's ridiculous. I'm not so now that
Damn, I want to see that. Oh my god, that is fucking hilarious. I'm just picturing it. For those of you 0.8 people who don't know what he's referencing, a somewhat, and I stress the term somewhat, famous rapper by the name of Takashi 69 went to jail for shit he didn't do and started snitching on shit that he did do that wasn't even related to the case he was in. To the point where the judge even tried to tell his actual legal appointees, yo, stop having him snitch about things I didn't ask. Now, I don't think this was really to, you know, save his life or anything in particular like that. I just think the judge is even aware how big of a target he's putting on his own back. Yeah, Takashi 69, the not African or Japanese, I believe Mexican motherfucker who makes hardcore gangster shit. Yeah, apparently he wasn't actually a phony gangster. He was more like a proxy for genuine fucking gangsters. So yeah.
Now, Tom Holland can go down the legacy to have his
Yeah, I thought about that.
third Spider-Man solo movie next to the legend Tobey Maguire himself. And then since he seems to even have a higher
I'm into programming.
likelihood than old Tobey, he could actually maybe get 1 to 2 more movies, or even have his own standalone animated show-ish.
Yeah, supposedly they're gonna get all the live action movie Spider-Man for the next Into the Spider-Verse. They wanted to, and they could get the ones that were they wanted to get them and use the ones from the live action in the first Into the Spider-Verse, and they could, but it got changed on them, and they said, "Hey, you got to save something for the sequel." So I don't know how well they're gonna be incorporated, but yo. That movie can't get hit fast enough. Anyways. Fucking. Alright. Well, as far as I go, topic 1. I have possibly the best possible answer for this, but I don't even like my own answer. Let me just preference it with that statement. I feel like it is bad for these companies to do binge watching with new shows. I legit do. But I do like that system. It hurts them, not me, you know. It's one of those situations. The provider gets hurt, but the customer don't, which is a rare occurrence in this economy and world, to say the least. So I think what they should do is kind of what BoJack Horseman is doing, and I feel like this show may pioneer it, but they should do half of a season, and then 4 months later, not 6, the other half of a season. But also, I feel like they should scale it based on how much show there is. I feel like if the show is like maybe 13 episodes a season, possibly go and do a once a week situation. Do a once a week situation. But if it's something huge, like, you know, you plan to do this 20 or 30 episodes, or not 30 is too crazy, but 20 some odd episodes a season, I feel like I feel like 10 or half or whatever amount you got if it's over 15. And then 6 months later, another one. Because, see, here's the thing that you have to remember about these online services. You don't always know what the best thing for you to watch is. That recommended tab, half the people that see the recommended tab openly ignore it on every single platform just because it reminds them too much of a fucking commercial. And the reason we use a lot of these platforms is because we don't want to fuck with commercials, you know? So I'm at a point where I understand it from both perspectives, but I know ultimately the corporate side, and it's rare, is actually doing the right thing by staggering releases. Because a staggered release means that there's less downtime, which means it could relate to less stock damage, which means they could keep a steady stream of people, no pun intended, watching, because we all know at this point they're not going to have explosive growth anymore. Unless, you know, the only way they're going to get explosive growth, it won't be from America, it'll be from India and possibly Canada. Because Canada still has shit Wi-Fi, and their internet is inherently more expensive by default. So I'm thinking the only market left is really just India. Because India is somehow in between first world and whatever the fuck a second is. Because I've never actually seen a second world country. I've only heard the terms first and third world. So India actually has a lot of internet infrastructure that is not even there. Like, what was it? I think 10 years ago, less than 30%, and again, don't quote me on this, less than 30% of the population utilize the internet every day. Cell phones, of course, change that, but again, cell phones aren't an everywhere thing. That's a someplace thing. People just pretend that they're everywhere, but they're not. You know, the world's a big place. There's enough cell phones for everybody, but that don't mean that everybody has enough money for said cell phones. Anyways. So yeah, in closing, staggered release and halves are the best route to go, but I still fucking hate it. Because when you get a climax and a good show, oh my God, it'll fuck with you. All right, now as far as topic 2, we have an official confirmation. Okay. Well, I'm going to just come out and say it. It's very easy for me. I've never seen Star Wars live action movies. I don't pretend that I have, but if you want my money, Disney, and I think you do, yeah, hell, I think you want everybody's money. All you got to do is make a Star Wars movie that actually has good fight sequences. And I don't mean fights that are less than 60 seconds. I mean fights that are actually involve some level of acrobatics. It's more than just swing, block, swing, block, swing, block, swing, block. Jump over somebody, swing, block, swing, block. Well, I mean, it's not hard because if you combine every single fight sequence in the live action Star Wars movies and you put them on YouTube, which dozens of people, if not hundreds, have, the fights come out to less than 30 minutes. They don't suck, but they're very, very, very boring. That whole swing block thing, that wasn't a joke. They're kind of sort of all like that. Swing block, swing block, swing block, jump, swing block, dodge, swing block. Come on now. They have telekinesis, the ability to super jump, and they can bust down metal doors. What's up?
Nothing.
Okay. And that's the best you can come up with. But if you go and look at their show they had on Toonami, because ironically, I've seen, I think, at least 3 or 4 different Star Wars shows. Even the mini movie that Genndy Tartakovsky did for Cartoon Network. Every single fight that's not live action is better than the live action fights. Spider-Man Far From Home doesn't have true murder and bloodshed. It's got basically the equivalent of grappling hook swinging and acrobatic punches and kicks. And every single fucking sequence is more entertaining than almost every Star Wars fight. And I don't just mean the set pieces like, oh, here's the end of the movie, final fight. No, I just mean watching him swing through the city and his natural combat style is more interesting than almost every Star Wars fight that I am aware of that was live action. I'm not going to say it. The collection had all of them. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. There are even people who went out of their way to talk about, what was it, the last one? Episode 9. No, not episode 9. Episode 8. Talk about the fights, the biggest fight in episode 8, and how it wasn't even rendered and computer generated graphics weren't even applied correctly to the characters. Not to mention the choreography was actually fucked up. And I was just sitting up here like, they spent at least $100 million on this one fucking movie. And based on what I'm seeing, with, again, fight collections and montages, there is literally only one lightsaber fight in this whole movie. One lightsaber fight. And of that one lightsaber fight, they didn't even edit the special effects right, and the characters mistime their own movements. I don't even think this is the actor's fault. I think it's the director, and you know, Rian Johnson catches a lot of shit. He didn't want to make the movies the way they did. We all know it. But my problem is very simple. Whoever was in charge of the choreography did not tell the director, yo, they fucked all this shit up. And so did the CG team. We need to reshoot this. So, yeah, look, you want to get my money? I don't mind a good story. I'm perfectly fine with that. You want to basically make it show that, look, peace and violence are not mutually exclusive. The good guy might have to apply violence to stop a violent motherfucker. And a violent motherfucker can only avoid destruction by becoming peaceful. Totally get it. It's the most boring and cliche story that has ever existed in media. I understand it. The problem is that it's stale. Almost as stale as your action sequences. Please improve. And I'm saying that with no malice or maliciousness being intended. They're terrible. No More Heroes, a game that came out on the Wii in like 2008, has more interesting lightsaber fights than the entirety, damn near, of Star Wars. And all he does is swing, dodge, block, wrestling suplex, and he doesn't have the force. I know that sounds insulting, but the shit's true. Go look it up or play the games. Moving on. Well, I can't say Power Rangers. Okay, I think the best crossover, as if it wasn't already staring everyone directly in the face, fucking X-Men, man. Fucking X-Men. Just X-Men or Fantastic Four. Because Fantastic Four and X-Men, legit, they make sense. Because they already go to space from time to time. The story will still be interesting without any one character being too OP. And let's be honest. A lot of people just want to see any mutant character, especially the cool ones, use a lightsabers type weapon. I want to see Gambit with a double saber. Don't tell me you haven't thought about that. What a time to be alive. Feel bad for DC though, but yeah, that's another story. So yeah, X-Men or Fantastic Four, video game or movie format or both. I don't care. I like the idea. All right, so as far as what I want to see in the new Picard Star Trek show, first off, returning faces is just a foregone conclusion. I'm not even going to say that. I want to see stories that deal with what they always did. Morally ambiguous issues that humanity or the audience can easily find parallels in current society or even their daily life on. However, I do want them to include more graphic things. Say what you want to about Star Wars and addiction and craze, but almost all the episodes never, ever touch on hard drug and narcotic substances. They do fake versions of the shit, but they don't do anything hard. And there's no ramifications for anyone who usually come across these addictions. They're fucked up for a piece of an episode. They get cured the same episode. The end. Or they're fucked up. They have to admit they're fucked up. They go get help. The end. Nah. The limitations of the 90s or late 80s and 90s to early 2000s era of television have changed. But also, if you do it at different times of the day, you can get different results. There's a main character everyone loves, Worf. Everyone loves that dude. Imagine if Worf got basically addicted to American or human cocaine. But since he's a different species, technically, the cocaine just gives him a battle high. It has a performance enhanced. It's like a steroid to him. It's like a performance enhancing drug. You know, makes him happier, just a better, well-adjusted person. Everyone likes him more. But the side effect, we'll say, is that it can slow down his heart. So he'll think he's taking a nap, but he's actually dying. You know? How many people need to hold down Worf or enrage him to the point of him wanting to kill somebody just to get him into a situation where they can calm him down or get him to rehab? You know? Also, what happens when Worf comes back from that? That man loves his honor like he is a Japanese samurai from the early 15 or 1600s. Like, you don't call him a coward unless you prepared to die. And I'm not saying that from a joke perspective. That actually happened. It's on YouTube all over. Worf didn't want to do something. Everyone knew he didn't want to do something, but he felt honor bound to do it. So Picard tried to trick him into not doing it by calling him a coward. He went up to this man on the bridge, getting ready to beat the shit out of him, not giving a third of a damn of a fuck about the ramifications of everything that could happen. And all he said to him was, if you was any other man, Picard, which is totally out of protocol if you know anything about the military. You just threatened the highest ranking officer and you called him out of his rank. That's all kinds of ass whoopings if you did that in the regular military. And shit like that. Like, they didn't do that. The normal Star Trek formula, outside of a personal episode with possible character development or very little character development, is very simple. 1, everybody's minding their business. 2, the main cast, in particular Picard, is alerted to a threat or a danger. 3, they deal with it, but not everybody agrees on how they dealt with it. The end. And then it's like the shit never happened the next day. You know, unless it's an overarching threat like the Borg, which took up, I think, 2 or 3 seasons. That's nice, but that formula's played out. It's very classical. You could still do it, but do it more sparingly. So yeah, I just want to see a more serious tone. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind the action sequence or a funny joke or two. You ain't got to be a hard ass all the time, but I want to see more variety and story depth. Moving on. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. We already know about Spider-Man coming back. Picture to picture, except for Avengers 5. But here's what I'm thinking. Let me see. We haven't even gone a full 30 minutes, so I kind of want to, I'm thinking, do you want to do the whole glitch bullshit convo right quick? Or you want me to cut this and you want me to make it a separate thing?
Separate thing. Yeah, that's going to be a lot.
Yeah. Okay. All right. With that being said, this has been a very short, possibly the shortest ever, episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm going to go get started on my next Phantasy Star Online review thingy. And I will see you guys when I see you guys.